Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 5th of May 2025 and the price of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market, guys, has marginally gone down, and the reason is pretty simple, guys. On the 7th of this month, that is 2 days from now, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be making a decision whether to keep the interest rate, reduce the interest rate or increase it. Now President Donald Trump, guys, he wants Jerome Powell to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, and looks like there is a 50% chance he might actually do that. And if that thing happens, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the price of Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high. And according to me, a lot of notorious traders in Wales, they are anticipating something similar as well. And because of that, they want to go ahead and manipulate the process, guys. And if you see mainstream media news for the next few days, guys, I'm pretty much sure they're going to be talking negative things regarding the US economy. And the whole idea is that they want to go ahead and manipulate the market. This is at least what my interpretation is. But what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell does actually go live via YouTube. Let's see what his decision is. Now in today's episode, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover. Now the first news I want to touch base is regarding a $1 trillion company, that is Franklin Templeton. And they want to work on decentralized finance with Bitcoin. Now me personally, guys, I do have a bit of apprehension regarding this. Because when you talk about Bitcoin, guys, it is best to be left alone, isn't it? And that is one of the reasons why I read out the price of Bitcoin. I often call it as king of all kings. But what I'll do, guys, in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss the positives as well as the negatives of having decentralized finance connected to Bitcoin. Let me know, guys, what your honest assessment to this is. Because look, guys, according to me, Bitcoin is competing with the US dollar, competing with Great British Pound, and there is absolutely no need for having decentralized finance connected to it. But when you talk about innovation, we definitely need to have room for that as well, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the second news is all the way from United Kingdom, and the Financial Conduct Authority, guys, they are requesting feedback regarding crypto input. Now what I'd really urge you guys to do is, in the show notes below, there is an official website, and the Financial Conduct Authority, guys, they have released a discussion paper, and they are seeking industry and public views regarding this. Now if you do have a really interesting idea, guys, or any comment, be it positive or negative, I definitely do think you should go ahead and mention it. So I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now the next news, guys, is connected to Apple. And looks like Apple is making way for NFTs on the platform, as well as for developers, particularly in the decentralized distributed world. Looks like they're making things easy for developers, and so far as cryptocurrencies is concerned, guys, there is massive areas for developers to go ahead and start working with. So if you're a developer, particularly working with iOS, guys, you definitely want to go ahead and check this news out. Now the final news, guys, is all the way from Maldives, and a Dubai family-based office, guys, looks like they want to set up operations over there, and they plan to invest up to $8.8 billion, and looks like the Maldives government, guys, they're opening the doors for blockchain and digital asset innovation as well. So really interesting news. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode, and like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, are definitely massive news, and the first news is from the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, an Abu Dhabi investment office, guys. They are partnered with Al-Fire, and they want to accelerate AI-led digital wealth management capabilities in the Emirate, so we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the second news, guys, is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but this news is connected to blockchain technologies. Now when you talk about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, guys, there is pretty much no news so far as cryptocurrencies or blockchain technology is concerned, but looks like this particular news is definitely turning out to be a deal breaker. And the news essentially is that Coty, they have joined forces with Saudi Arabia to shape the future of artificial intelligence, blockchain as well as real-world assets. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility. Check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, is it taken care of that? Let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, guys, it is well below the $3 trillion mark. But if you look at the market sentiment, it is still at neutral, and the number associated is 52. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. After the FOMC meeting, this number could drastically change. And if Federal Chair Jerome Powell does decide to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, I wouldn't be surprised in just a matter of few hours, the market sentiment will actually turn to greed, and the global cryptocurrency market will cross the $3 trillion mark. But if it does go ahead and decide to keep the interest rate the same, guys, that, to be honest, isn't a bad deal as well. But it depends on what narrative mainstream media goes with, and because mainstream media is suffering from TDS, guys, they would put up articles that the Federal Reserve Board is worried about the economy. And because of this fake news and misleading information, guys, it will negatively impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So let's see what the outcome to the FOMC meeting is. Now, the global cryptocurrency market right now is at $2.93 trillion. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is at $42.96 billion. And since the last 24 hours, guys, it is actually up by 7.24%. Now, if you look at the volume on decentralized finance, unfortunately, guys, the numbers are definitely not looking good at all. It is only at $3.93 billion. And DeFi, guys, as of today, is accounting for less than 10% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. It is only at 7.42%. Now the total value locked since the last 6 weeks is on an uptrend, and today it is at $100.96 billion, with Lido dominating at $20.33 billion. Now decentralized to centralized exchange dominance today, guys, is at 26.15%. Now I'm really curious to check what the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance is after the FOMC meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if this percentage is well over the 40% mark, maybe even the 50% mark. Now let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, because Uniswap is at number 1, and its 24-hour volume is $1.65 billion. The number second, guys, is a surprising one, and this is Pump, and its 24-hour volume is $777.19 million. PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $643.37 million. Radium is at number 4th, and its 24-hour volume is $611.63 million. Orca, guys, is at number 5th, and its 24-hour volume is $466.04 million. Now let's quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, because stablecoins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 92.48% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. But unfortunately, guys, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it is only at $48.98 billion. Now Tether USDT is clearly leading the pack, and its 24-hour volume is $41.94 billion, whereas Circle USDC's volume is well below the $6 billion mark. It is at $5.71 billion. But look, our Circle USDC has been making quite a lot of partnership, isn't it? And I wouldn't be surprised, let's say 3 to 5 years down the line, if Circle USDC is heavily competing with Tether USDT, maybe the 24-hour trading volume overtakes the volume of Tether USDT as well. Now the third one so far as the volume of stablecoins is concerned is FDUSD, and its 24-hour volume is $1.77 billion. Now let's quickly run through the market cap, guys, because the market cap of Bitcoin is at $1.86 trillion. And just few days ago, guys, I was actually anticipating that the market cap of Bitcoin will cross the $2 trillion mark. But since the last 72 hours, looks like there's a lot of manipulation going on, isn't it? Let's see how the market cap is over the next coming days, particularly after the FOMC meeting. Now, if you look at the market cap of Ethereum, guys, today it is at $216 billion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $20.56 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $9.88 billion. Now, the dominance of Bitcoin has definitely picked up a lot of pace, and today it is at 63.75%. And I was reading this article, guys, that the dominance of Bitcoin has gained the highest since the last 4 years. Now, if the prices are increasing and around the $100,000 mark, then it is great that the dominance is up, isn't it? So let's see if this trend continues for a very long time. Now, so far as the dominance of Ethereum is concerned, it is at 7.40%. Now, every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, I tend to look at one new matrix, isn't it? And what I want to do next is, I want to look at the top made in American tokens by market capitalization. And it is no surprise that Ripple is leading the pack, and its market cap is at $125.8 billion. And who's to say, guys, with Ripple's XRP ETF, as well as the newly launched stablecoin, could it be possible that the market cap is nearing the Ethereum's market cap? Let's see if that thing does actually happen. Now, the market cap of Solana is at number 2nd with $75.11 billion. Circle USDC is at number 3rd, and its market cap is $61.48 billion. Dogecoin is at number 4th, and its market cap is $25.44 billion. And Cardanoaddress is at number 5th, and its market cap is $23.81 billion. Now let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin right now is $94,098. And there is a very high possibility, guys, by the time you're listening to the episode, the prices would have fallen down, because a lot of notorious traders in Wales, they are trying to manipulate the market, isn't it? And they do want to temporarily pull down the price of Bitcoin, guys. And once the prices do actually go down, they are the ones who will be accumulating a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, the price of Bitcoin since the last 24 hours is still up by 0.21%. Now, so far as Ethereum is concerned, it is below the $1,800 mark. It is at $1,796. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.11%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.77%. Ripple XRP is at $2.15. But since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.26%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.75%. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what narrative mainstream media goes with post the FOMC meeting. And whether we like it or not, it is that narrative that will drive the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, last week, guys, there was token 2049 taking place in Dubai, isn't it? And if you actually go through LinkedIn, guys, Everyone is talking about that event. And Franklin Templeton, guys, they did make some really interesting announcement in the world of decentralized finance. And we know that Franklin Templeton, guys, they are a prominent asset manager and early backer of blockchain ventures in it. And they did publicly endorse Bitcoin expansion into decentralized finance. And Kevin Fadley, guys, who's the Vice President of Digital Assets and Management Principal of Blockchain Ventures at Franklin Templeton, does argue that Bitcoin DeFi or decentralized finance does not dilute Bitcoin's original store of value narrative, but it enhances its utility for technically advanced investors who are seeking yield, security, and customizable strategies. And he did actually make this announcement at a side event that was organized by BitLayer. And he emphasized that this particular evolution is about infrastructure development and not narrative confusion as such. Now you also need to remember, guys, Franklin Templeton is also an investor in BitLayer, which is essentially a platform enabling Bitcoin smart contracts and DeFi applications, and they're doing that through an architecture called as BitVM. And based on the announcement, guys, these innovations aim to introduce faster, cheaper transactions and generate sustainable yield on-chain for Bitcoin holders. And they also made an assessment, guys, that by offering decentralized finance, it will actually be supporting long-term miner incentives through transaction fees. Now that statement does make a lot of sense to a certain extent, and the Vice President of Franklin Templeton, guys, does believe that Bitcoin's simplicity, clarity as well as liquidity makes it ideal for institutions as well. And according to him, guys, adding decentralized finance tools, which can be done through trusted minimized layers, could make it even more attractive without altering its core position. Now look, guys, all these things, they actually do sound really fancy, isn't it? As long as you have full control over your Bitcoin, guys, which is by having access to your private keys, then things like this should not be a problem. But historically, guys, whenever we talk about decentralized finance connected to Bitcoin blockchain, most often than not, you lose control of your private keys. And if that thing happens, guys, it does go against the very ethos of why Bitcoin was created as well. And because of that, guys, me personally, I definitely have apprehensions regarding this. But nonetheless, guys, let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and highlight some of the positives regarding this particular move. And then I want to go ahead and discuss some of the negatives of having decentralized finance connected to Bitcoin blockchain. Now, when you talk about positive things of having decentralized finance connected to Bitcoin blockchain, guys, it does enhance utility, isn't it? And DeFi use cases can unlock new opportunities for Bitcoin holders, and Bitcoin holders can earn yield, and they can also interact with smart contracts, and this to a certain extent increases Bitcoin's value proposition, isn't it? And the next thing I can think of is investor diversification, because look, guys, having decentralized finance on Bitcoin blockchain does attract more sophisticated investors who want more yield, lending, or asset management strategies using Bitcoin, so there's definitely room for that. Now, one of the things which he touched base is regarding miners, and this is something I can get behind, guys, because DeFi activity does bring more transaction fees, which can help offset declining block rewards after halving events. Because look, guys, historically, after every halving events, the mining industry is the one that suffers the most, isn't it? The cost increases, but the amount of Bitcoin that you get as a reward gets reduced in half, and the only way for miners to sustain is because of the fees. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, miners are the ones who are advocating for unnecessary things like ordinals, runes, and now decentralized finance. This is additional income for miners, isn't it? So don't be surprised if a lot of miners are actually backing a lot of decentralized protocols that are actually connected to Bitcoin blockchain. Now, the next thing I want to touch base is regarding investor confidence, guys. Now, whether we like it or not, endorsement from players like Franklin Templeton does actually help legitimize Bitcoin decentralized finance in traditional finance circles, isn't it? And finally, regarding preservation of core layer, guys, solutions like BitLayer do operate on separate layers, and this ensures that Bitcoin's mainnet security and simplicity is maintained. Now, these are some of the positives I can think of, but as I mentioned earlier, guys, me personally have a lot of apprehensions regarding this, so let me go ahead and highlight some of the negatives of decentralized finance connected to Bitcoin blockchain. Now, the first thing I can immediately think is complexity risk. Now, it's needless to say, guys, Bitcoin itself is extremely complex, isn't it? And introducing decentralized finance may make Bitcoin's usability even more complex. And this, to be honest, guys, will actually separate a lot of Bitcoin purists and the so-called Bitcoin maximalists, guys. They don't want absolutely anything to do regarding this. And when you talk about Bitcoin, guys, right now the whole narrative is digital gold, isn't it? So why have unnecessary complex things? Now, the next negative I can think of, and probably the most important one, and this is to do with security concerns. Because look, decentralized finance is often vulnerable to exploits, And now with having decentralized finance on Bitcoin blockchain, we are kind of replicating Ethereum-like functionality on Bitcoin blockchain, isn't it? And whether we like it or not, guys, this additional layer does expose users to similar risks as well. In Ethereum, there have been so many hacks and attacks, and by having decentralized finance on Bitcoin blockchain, guys, it does unnecessarily expose users to similar risks, isn't it? Now what about fragmentation, guys? Cause new layers and protocols could create interoperability challenges, and this would unnecessarily create confusion among users, isn't it? And according to me, guys, Bitcoin should be completely left alone, because as I mentioned earlier in the episode, Bitcoin is competing with gold, it is competing with fiat currency as well, so why have unnecessary things? Now the next negative I can think of is regulatory uncertainty, and DeFi applications, guys, are facing growing scrutiny all over the world, particularly when you have staking as a service involved. And according to me, having decentralized finance on Bitcoin blockchain will unnecessarily attract more regulatory pressures in it. So why have those unnecessary things? Now the final thing I can think of, and probably the most important thing, and this is to do with user education gap. Because look, many Bitcoin holders are accustomed to passive holding strategies, and now shifting them to decentralized finance, guys, does require a lot of unnecessary technical knowledge. So I do think it is a negative aspect, and according to me, guys, let's just leave Bitcoin alone. But let me know, guys, if you agree to my assessment or disagree to it, and if you do have any things I might have missed, guys, mention them in the comments below. Now let's go and talk about some really interesting move by United Kingdom and the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA. They have released a discussion paper, and they are seeking industry and public views on future regulations of crypto assets, including intermediaries, staking, lending, borrowing in decentralized finance. Now this particular move, guys, follows a draft legislation by the Treasury, which is aiming at bringing these activities under the Financial Conduct Authority oversight. And David Gale, who is the Executive Director of Financial Conduct Authority, guys, has emphasized that the goal is to set a clear, balanced regulatory framework that supports innovation, while at the same time ensuring consumer protection and market integrity. And so far as the discussion paper is concerned, guys, it also explores whether restrictions are needed on using credit to purchase crypto. Now if you do have any expert opinion regarding this, guys, you definitely need to go ahead and mention any comments. And this particular initiative regarding the research paper, guys, is part of FCA's broader crypto roadmap, which outlines timelines for upcoming consultation on key areas such as market abuse, stable coins, custody and prudential measures. Now the deadline for this response is 13th of June 2025, with formal consultation to follow later this year. And the Financial Conduct Authority, guys, reminds consumers that crypto remains largely unregulated in UK and carries a very high risk. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, if you do have any interesting comment, make sure you go ahead and mention that, because now there is an opportunity to go ahead and put any feedback and comments, isn't it? Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some really interesting news regarding Apple. And looks like Apple is easing NFT and crypto rules for iOS apps, and this is following an antitrust ruling. Now in the show notes below, guys, I have put out an official document by Apple itself, and Apple has relaxed restrictions in iOS apps, and this will allow developers to direct users to external purchasing methods, and even enabling NFT purchases for secondary markets. Now this particular move, guys, comes after a US district judge ruled that Apple violated a 2021 court injunction, and this led to a prohibition of collecting fees on purchases made outside iOS apps, and they were restricting developers from linking to third-party sites, and looks like now Apple has decided to go ahead and ease the regulations. Now regarding this update, guys, let me very briefly highlight what this update is, because now iOS apps can include buttons or links to browse NFT collections and allow external purchases, but it's really important to understand that restrictions on crypto-related activities such as ICOs, as well as mining, is still in place. But this particular move is definitely a win for the industry, isn't it? And Apple's loosening of rule is expected to foster innovation in the cryptocurrency space on iOS devices. And Apple is such a massive giant in the technology space, isn't it? And according to me, guys, this particular ruling will definitely benefit the cryptocurrency industry, as it will allow flexibility for developers to create crypto-native apps for iOS devices. Now, if I'm not mistaken, guys, Google had something similar. Google initially had some restrictions, but they did actually relax the restrictions going back to 2023. Now guys, let's go and discuss some interesting news from Maldives, and a Dubai-based family office, that is MBS Global Investment, which is led by Sheikh Naif bin Eid Al Thani, has announced an ambitious plan to invest $8.8 billion over 5 years, and they want to develop a blockchain and digital asset financial hub in Maldives. Now here's the interesting thing to note, guys. The investment exceeds the country's $7 billion annual GDP, as they aim to diversify the island's national economy beyond tourism and fisheries. And Maldives Finance Ministry Musa Zamir guys sees the deal as a potential lifeline to address the country's looming debt obligations, which includes $600 to $7 billion due this year and $1 billion by 2026. And MBS Global Investment guys manages approximately $14 billion in assets, and they've already secured commitments of $4 to $5 billion, and they plan to fund the project through a mix of equity and debt, and this will be via a consortium of family offices as well as high net worthy individuals. And this particular project, guys, was formalized through a joint venture agreement with Maldives International Financial Center, which is an 830,000 square meter hub in Mal, and it is designed to accommodate 6,500 residents and employ 16,000 people as well. And this center, guys, aims to establish the country as a global financial free zone for blockchain and digital assets, with projections to triple GDP and generate over $1 billion in revenue within the next 5 years. Now look, so far as Maldives is concerned, it is absolutely a beautiful place, isn't it? And they do have advantages like political stability and strategic location, but they will be competing with Dubai and Singapore as well, which I do believe will be challenging to a certain extent, isn't it? But nonetheless, guys, definitely positive news. So these were the news, guys, on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency world. Now let's go ahead and look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news, guys, is regarding Abu Dhabi Investment Office, and they are partnering with Al-Fire, and they want to accelerate AI-led digital wealth management capabilities in the Emirate. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because the objective of this partnership, guys, is to drive financial services innovation and strengthen Abu Dhabi's wealth management sector. Now this particular move does align with Emirates' broader vision to attract high-impact global investors and enhance the financial ecosystem, isn't it? And so far as Al-Fire is concerned, guys, it is backed by BNB, LeMaitre, as well as ADQ. And so far as Al-Fire is concerned, they offer an AI-driven wealth management platform for banks, asset managers, and investment advisors. And if you talk about the target audience, guys, the platform focuses on high net worthy individuals as well as ultra high net clients and the GCC. And Al-Fire plans major capital and operational investments over the next 3 years. And the first step is opening a new Al-Fire office in Al Ain region. And they want to support ADIO, guys, because ADIO provides competitive business support to accelerate innovation. Now Al-Fire will register new intellectual properties to help foreign financial institutions launch in Abu Dhabi. And looks like there's a strong focus on Emiratization, and it is a key part of the partnership as well. And Al-Fire, guys, will launch an internship program that is tailored to Emirati talent. And they plan to include initiatives targeting students in education to boost financial literacy. And an international exposure program for UAE nationals is also planned. And His Excellency Badarul Ulama, guys, has emphasized the goal to create a thriving innovation hub for global financial leaders. And the CEO of Al-Fire, that is Roger Rana, highlighted the aim to refine wealth management through AI-powered platforms. Now the platform allows delivery of personal, data-driven investment services at scale. Now this particular partnership reinforces Abu Dhabi's status as a premier hub for advanced, tech-driven financial services. So definitely an interesting news. Now the next news is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but this is more connected to blockchain technology, and Coty has joined forces with Saudi Arabia to shape the future of artificial intelligence, blockchain, as well as real-world assets. Now so far as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is concerned, I don't see much news coming out so far as blockchain technology is concerned. Amnico brands definitely have some really strong investment, but regarding news and adoption, guys, I'm definitely not seeing much news coming out from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia so far as blockchain technology is concerned. So this news is definitely an interesting news, and Coty is becoming a founding member of Saudi Arabian Blockchain Center. Now this particular initiative was launched at Real World Assets Summit in Dubai, and they aim to accelerate adoption of AI, blockchain, as well as real world assets across MENA and African regions. And this partnership supports Saudi Arabia's national transformation strategy and tech innovation goal. And so far as Coty's role is concerned, it is positioning itself as the forefront of decentralized infrastructure and policy development. And the whole idea is that they want to unite policymakers, technologists, and investors to enable regional tech innovation. And so far as public investment is concerned, guys, it will be backed by Saudi initiatives like $40 billion AI Public Investment Fund. Now regarding AI investment in Saudi Arabia, it is projected to hit $61.85 billion by 2033. And Saudi aims to change blockchain policy and scalable pilot projects with real-world impact. And Coty aims to shape blockchain policy and scalable pilot projects with real-world impact. And so far as the technological strength for Coty is concerned, they specialize in privacy infrastructure and compliant confidentiality for RWA cases. And Coty bridges the gap between privacy and regulatory requirements. And when you talk about potential use cases, they will enable applications in lending, commodities, infrastructure and cross-border finance, and real-world assets are expected to grow into a multi-trillion-dollar vertical globally, isn't it? And this is all because of Larry Fink from BlackRock. Now regarding this announcement, guys, this was made during a high-level roundtable conference at Burj Al Arab, and this was when Token 2049 was taking place, and 40 elite members, guys, including royalty, investors, and government officials representing $500 billion assets under management were present at the session, and it also included Saudi Arabia region, United Arab Emirates, Nigeria, Kazakhstan, France, as well as United Kingdom. So this is definitely a massive news from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Nick who asks, will Apple's easing of NFT rules lead to a surge in Web3 mobile apps? This, to be honest, Nick, is a really interesting question. And with Apple easing its NFT rules, I do think we're going to see a surge in Web3 mobile apps, because Apple has majority of the shares so far as technology is concerned, not just in the mobile space, even in the laptop space and software space, isn't it? And I feel by allowing apps to link to external payment methods and even supporting NFT transactions from secondary marketplaces, according to me, Nick, this move by Apple is definitely a deal breaker. And now iOS developers can build more robust NFT marketplaces, isn't it? They can also go out and bring token-gated content platforms and even Web3 native social apps. And more importantly, they can do this without the 30% Apple tax. But it's really important to know, Nick, they are still not allowing RCOs or mining, so it is not a complete green light, at least for now. But so far as NFTs and tokenized experience is concerned, this opens the door for real innovation in iOS space, isn't it? And I do feel if developers move really fast, and if Apple doesn't backpedal, things will be looking great not just for Apple but even for the Web3 space. And under the Trump administration, Nick, Apple has also confirmed to invest $500 billion in United States of America, isn't it? And with the Trump administration, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are definitely booming as well. So according to me, this move by Apple is definitely a really massive deal. And I'm pretty much sure the next coming days, months and years, things will be looking good not just for the Apple space, but even for the Web3 industry. So definitely interesting question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have the Blockchain DXB podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the parts of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. We also look at global and interesting news. Then we also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and Middle East from the cryptocurrencies and AI space. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.